Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hello. Hey.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good, all good, all good.
Ready?
Indeed.
Excellent. Okay. So, wow. Well, last week was excellent, as I said, as we've all talked about. Many people have talked about how great it was. So now we're gonna just jump back in. Okay. Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good.
Are you here, Marcus? Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, I'm here. Gotta make sure technology is working and all of that.
Okay. So again, yes, I want to say welcome back to everybody that was watching last week, watching the first part. And this is now part 2 of Do Children Really Change Things? So again, for those of you who are watching for the first time, my name is Dion, and this is my husband, Marcus.
Hi, guys.
We also have co-host Cherie, who was away, Cherie, and her husband, Jonathan. And then we have some good long-time friends of ours. We have the Fullers, Rebecca and Leon. And then we have the Reeds, Jonathan and Alex.
Yeah.
Excellent. So they're joining us too. So we're just going to get straight back in. So making the leap from coupledom to baby makes 3 is exciting, it's exhilarating, and it's wonderful, but it's also extremely exhausting, exasperating, and sometimes it can be quite worrisome. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. So a combination of that can sometimes be quite toxic to a romantic relationship that made you parents in the first place. So while we are on this topic, I mean, we had lots of jokes last week. Does anyone just want to kind of help me to just remember what we were talking about last week? There was a few things. What were we discussing?
We were talking about kids bursting through the door.
Oh yeah, that was one of the points. Kids bursting through the door. You know, having a lock on your door as parents, because sometimes, you know, it's not the one when they're just walking in. We were talking about, the dumpling situation. That was funny. About as soon as our little ones get a little tough coming through, the grandparents always want to come through with the fried dumpling.
Just a glimmer of white on the
yeah. Or even that. or even that. But we did have some really, really funny moments. So please, if you missed that, tune in to that. Go and catch up on that. So we're just going to go straight into the second part now. It is also Infant Loss Awareness Month, and it's basically specifically it actually starts tomorrow. So we thought it would be a good time to kind of explore some of those things, because we do have people who are on today who have experienced that, and I'm sure that many of you are going to be able to relate to their stories. So stay tuned for that as well. We're trying not to make this session too heavy. We want it to still be lighthearted and still enjoyable. But let's face it, there are people who do have these struggles. Couples do have these struggles, and it's important to share this and to kind of support one another as well, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
So that being said, guys, our first topic this evening is finance. So we're gonna talk about how finance changed and changes things in the relationship, especially when we're talking about children. This in part 2. So, you know, first question then: was there much of a change in your finances? Let's just have a prayer before we start. Lord, we thank you for watching over us, for being with us today, and for allowing us to come together as friends. To discuss these topics, to hopefully encourage someone out there as well. Be with all the proceedings. I pray that everything runs well and according to plan. In your name we pray, amen.
Put that hat back on, please, bro.
Yeah. Lockdown here, capital C.
That's good. That means you had your eyes closed. Well done.
Amen. Okay, so finance, guys. Finance. How did it change? We've all got children. For some of us, it's our first. For some of us, it's our fourth. you know, for some of us, it's only 2. But how did finance change things? What was it a big change for you? Did you start shopping in the Primarks and the Aldis and Lidl? They're good anyway.
I was scared to start the shopping. I'll be honest, with my first child, I was scared for that very reason. The same thing that we've already, you know, we just mentioned. What if the baby doesn't come? It was my thing. So I was very apprehensive initially. I think it was probably about 6 months or so, and then I was like, oh, I've got nothing, and it's coming. I need to get, you know. So that didn't happen the second time around, but first time I was very apprehensive. As much as I was excited, I was just a bit. You just don't know.
I guess there's a lot of those scary stories as well, where they say, "Oh, you've seen your scan and it's supposed to be a boy, but then it's a girl, and you've gone and bought all the blue stuff instead of the pink stuff, and vice versa."
Always neutral, man.
Yeah, neutral colors, easy. But what was your experience like?
So I mean, a long time ago, I would have thought that I had a bit of money, and I used to hit bullring left, right, and center.
Jeez,
Get my designer, you know,
designer
stuff.
king, you know.
Not a problem. You get me, hit the youth days. You get me, bang, shirt, fresh. You know what I mean? But we had our first child and a second child, and I realized that I had to quickly become unselfish, like really quickly, and it kind of threw me back. I'm not gonna lie, because I was used to spending money on what I wanted, and now I had to kind of think about other people. Like, let me sort out the shoes, let me sort out their church outfit, and you kind of I would say you push them at the forefront, and you kind of put yourself right at the back, because you want to make sure that, you know, they're catered for and whatnot. So, you know, gone are the days when I used to go into, you know, into flannels
Easy now.
and now it's a quick shop, Sunday shop to Primark, you know.
Wow.
Can we just talk about the shoes before you move on? I'm sorry, but this used to upset me every time, because before you know it, especially church shoes, you wear it once a week, you know, you put down the church shoes and you wear it once a week, they wear it 4 times for you know, next thing you know, it can't fit no more.
Yeah.
It just upsets me. It really does upset me.
Yeah,
it's when Caleb's riding his bike and he decides, you know what, sat the brakes. My brakes right now are the front of my shoes.
Yeah.
And I just feel it, because there ain't no cheap shoes. I feel it in my heart, you get me? And I'm just like, oh, son.
You know what the key is? The key is buy them some plimsolls for when they're doing the rubbish stuff. And that's what we did. We bought them some plimsolls and we said, do you want to go in the garden? Put on the plimsolls. You want to ride your bike and mess about? Plimsolls. Listen, they have some lifesavers. They wear them, they mash them up. They cost £2.50. I don't mind. The trainers.
Killer advice, man. Killer advice.
Thank you so much, Rick.
That is great. I know what that is.
Golden.
Excellent.
What about for you, Jonathan and Alex?
Why, I'd say that obviously with Aria being our first, I would just become super gassed. So like Fuller, I was very much into my designers, and before it was me. But even to the simple things that Alex would send me out to get bread and beans, and I'm coming back with a tracksuit for Aria, some new toys, and I'm thinking, and then I come back and I forget the bread and beans, and she's like, "Yo, this is what I said." So we got really excited because we found out the sex of our child beforehand, so it was just definitely getting all like the girly things, and then just obviously hoping for the best. But yeah, I don't think we were at a stage where we've felt the pinch as per se yet. We've had a lot of gifts, and you know, the gifts really help initially. But then, as you say, I got Aria first pair of white Air Forces. I'm like, yeah, look at my daughter shining. What did she do? Run straight in the garden into the mud, like running straight away.
What's the point?
So next time she's getting a quick ascot or a goaler, trust me, she's not appreciating the design.
The goaler's still around?
Bro, I don't even know.
You'll find some.
Plimsolls, man, plimsolls.
So what about?
I found it really overwhelming. So like, we were like you, Dion. Well, I was anyway. I was really scared at first. And when we first decided to start buying things, it was a baby show. And I just found the whole thing so overwhelming. Like, why is there so many things of the same thing? Like,
baby shows are the worst, you know. You always come back. I had all sorts of things. A baby show, I had a banana for Savannah. Was it Sienna? It was like a silicone banana that it was like a toothbrush that would help with the teething. But I was like, oh, come on, Dion.
Not the dumpling. Not a dumpling.
You come back with a whole load of things that you don't need. So yeah, that's good, Alex.
Yeah, I think buying like the car seat, the pram, it actually takes a lot of research, and I just found it too overwhelming. So I was like, Jono,
I'll be like, does that car seat go with the levers in the car?
That wasn't a good idea.
I'm glad to see you got your priorities right. That's great.
No safety.
It's funny that you say that though, Jonathan, because you know that kind of leads into the next question of buying the chairs and the buggies and all those sort of things. Who kind of made the decision on that in each of the couples? Was it a joint decision? Was it mummy knows best, so I'm getting this color? Or was it like you're saying, John, oh yeah, that goes with the levers in the car, so we're getting that one? What was that like for everyone?
I think ours. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Rebecca.
I think our journey was slightly different to other people. So we got thrown into parenthood in like a slightly different way. We were gifted a child. So we had to kind of move really quickly. And at the time, when we first started the process, like I was still studying. Leon had started working, but he hadn't done his like first year of work. So he wasn't fully qualified in his role. So he had to kind of take a lesser role. So for our first child, it was like, okay, so what can we afford to get? And that was what it was then. And then as the children have kind of come, we've kind of made different decisions on things like that and been able to do a bit more research. But yeah, the first time round, it was like, we need to get a pushchair now. Yeah. Let's just find one that fits into the budget and that's going to do the job. And we kind of did that. And then it was only as we've kind of progressed as parents that we thought, okay, let's try and find something that we actually like a bit more, looks a bit better, but still does the job, has all the practicalities and functionalities, and we went about it that way. But we definitely spoke about it together, and neither of us made a decision alone. It was always a joint thing.
Yeah. And that's the first time. Oh, go on, Sheree.
Yeah, for us, the first time round, it was. I think we were just gassed.
100%.
Just so gassed, and it was just like we wanted to look at everything together, go to all the baby shows. Like we'd go to the baby shows, we'd come home, we'd be on the internet, then we'd be on like Mother Care, and that was about be on Mamas and Papas. We'd be like, oh, should we go? Like every spare day was like, oh, should we just go and hit like Mother Care and go and have a look? And it was just Jolly Tots, and it was like proper intense. Like just because we were so excited, and then I don't think actually we thought things through properly because we just bought what we liked the look of. We just got gassed. It was like, yes, that is it. It just looks amazing. And I remember like coming home with it, putting it up, pushing it around the dining table, like
sending videos to Dion.
Yeah. And in hindsight, it was a bad choice actually.
Yeah, you did. I remember you did send the videos.
Yeah.
Because oh my goodness, mad thing.
But like the second time round, obviously we learned from the first time what we didn't get right.
But no, I don't remember when we bought the pram. We thought, yeah, we like this, really like this pram. And it was like 2 days later, we're like, nah, this pram's dead. And then
yeah, I saw that.
we just went and got another one. It was like,
you lot must be rolling, man.
Rolling. We had to hit that straight on Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook
sold off.
Marketplace.
Sold off swiftly. Yeah. For extra money.
Yeah. Make a little change. But yeah, it was just like we were just too gassed. And then the second time round, obviously, as you get older and as you like learn, we figured out what we didn't get right the first time. So we made slightly different choices.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because as a first-time mum, you don't think about little things. So a pushchair, I wasn't thinking, oh, I need under space to put bags in it.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, oh, I need a cup holder. Like
Exactly.
these things, don't you just don't think of these little things, even the bag, how much space you need. So if you're going to be trying for a baby, definitely get advice, because even car seats.
There's so
car
much,
seats
isn't there?
that-
There's just so much.
Just
So
little
much.
things
Right.
that you
Yeah.
don't
Even the
think
type
about.
of bag. Like I was showing Marcus the other
Yeah.
day. Like my youngest is 5 now. So well, sorry, not mine. Our youngest is 5 now. So we saw a baby bag, and I thought it was really impressive. Like the baby bag itself, you could open the zip and it would stretch out like this, and then there's a baby changer inside it. I was like, wow, like that would have just made me buy. I'd just buy that, and then someone else would say that's stupidness, Dion. Why would you buy that when you could just buy a bag and the changer? Like you just need
It's
a
a
basic
mat,
one.
you
It's
can
just
take
gonna get
wherever.
dirty anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, you do, and I think it's a nice thing that you can get excited about. It's one of them times in your life where it's okay to be excited, because you know it's something so special. I think it's all right, especially first time. Mate, go for the gold.
What about people giving you gifts? So say that again, Jay.
Now saying we went for a matching bag and all of that, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go for it.
Why
Why
not
not?
a parasol? What did I have a parasol for? Where was I going with the parasol?
Just to stop the rain getting the baby.
Frills on it and everything.
So like even with the whole first child thing, it's kind of, you do kind of have the aspiration of giving everything new or everything brand new, and it's the first child, so they kind of get everything. There's no hand-me-downs as such. How did you guys deal with, or what advice would you give to people who may be in the same situation? So gifts you may have got from people, or your mum says, oh, you used to wear this, or your brother or your sister used to wear this, and now your newborn can wear it. Were you guys kind of like, it's okay, it's my first, I want them to have brand new stuff? Or was it like, yeah, I'm happy for the used things?
We didn't get any used things, did we?
We did.
Did we? Oh, okay, like no, yeah. So yeah, we got a cot. That was fine. The cot we had actually
Was mine.
was Cherie's old
When I
cot,
was a baby.
and I thought that was quite nice.
That's
yeah, so
lovely.
yeah.
With a new mattress, obviously.
You had space in your house to store that, man. Cherie, you're not that young.
Yeah, like my mum.
It was well looked after.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
my mum really
for real.
obviously, like she bought it brand new when she had me. Then my sister used it, and it was just the two of us, and she kind of kept it. I don't even know why, because she's not like someone that keeps stuff like that. But then when it came to us needing a cut for our first, she was like, "Oh, you can have this," and it was actually quite nice, like to say that we had that piece that was like mine, and then we kept it for our second. And I think like now you can't keep.
Yeah, no,
you
no,
can't
no.
keep.
It's definitely done its time. There's only so much Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
It's sentimental, man. It's sentimental value.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
we
we
got
got pictures. We got pictures.
we got good advice as well for like places to go. So like my mum was quite good at like suggesting places where we could go and get things that were new, but maybe like I don't know, it was returned by someone and the box was damaged, and you know you'd get a brand new item that didn't cost whatever it was. And like we just asked a lot of questions, didn't we, to like new parents as well that had obviously just been through this, and they kind of pointed us in the direction of like
Jolly Tots,
AFTABs,
trust me. Yeah.
you know, like just little places that have been around for like years and years and years that everyone's kind of been to, and we thought, oh, okay, yeah. So we were able to save money but still get things that we really wanted as well. So yeah, those places, I guess.
What What about the pinch, guys? Going back to the financial thing then. So we talked about buying all the stuff and that. What about the pinch to your pocket when it came to just living? What was that like? And what's the reality of that? I think for us,
look at Leon with that's why Leon's coming with something, you know. Come on, Leon.
I was gonna say, I think the reality for us was like we said, you ended up changing and sacrificing things, and you'd happily go for the, in some ways, the no frills kind of beans instead of the
nah.
No way, bro. Highs every time.
No, yeah, that was a rubbish one.
Oh, you'll go for no frills beans.
Nah, bro.
No.
Nah.
Only lately I'm a bit more swayed to the Branston, you know. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Branston.
Branston.
little bit of black pepper.
No.
That was a poor example. Forget the beans, but you know,
Okay,
you went for the no frill stuff sometimes instead of the good.
No,
You did?
it's sweet corn.
Okay, not the sweet corn.
It has to be Green Giant.
Oh yeah, Dion's a Green Giant girl.
I can taste it. It's different. Like, don't give me anything that's
Let me
not
guess,
Green Giant.
Jacob's crackers only as
Well,
well.
absolutely. Well, there's other things that, you know, there's other things, but certain things have to be the same.
So those are the ones that we still spent money on because Dion knew the difference. But there was other things that you go and spend less money on because it's kind of like, well, I'd rather have more of it than get the top quality one and it be finished quickly. What was that like for you? Go on, Leon. I can see it coming.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize, man, because this topic just makes me giggle because, like, back in the day, you know, you used to get like the sensation. What's it? The sensations crisps.
I don't even remember. You
Splash out. You get the kettle ting. It's like a special, like exclusive, like the best.
Wow.
You know, the best and this, that, and the other. Like, yo, listen, I hit Aldi hard, and I get the 24-pack crisp. And I get excited when I get to the cash point till and they tell me the figure. Like, bro, people, like Aldi and Lidl.
Smashing it now.
Trust me.
Smashing it now. Smashing it. Back in the day, it was kind of like,
What now?
They're killing it now.
Now, it's like we can't buy like a like the six pack crisps. We can't do that. I was telling Jonathan the other day, when you come to church, we have to bring a 6-pack alone just for the lunch, and bananas just for that hour.
A bunch of bananas.
A bunch, like, because everyone's having one. Like, that's it. It's
like
done.
a whole pack of yogurt.
Yeah, like
everything is a whole pack. It's never just like I'll take a few. And like now they're back at school as well. They'll have like 2 packets of crisps a day, 2 yogurts a day.
Mate, straight
apples.
to Aldi, fam. Straight to Aldi.
You don't need to buy them boxes of crisps, man. Not even
we go in. And you know what? It's all right. I didn't know I'll get to this stage, but it's all right, man. Everyone's happy. They eat their crisps and whatnot. It's all good. So
yeah, but
no
priorities change, innit? That's the key. Your priority changes. You've become less selfish, and it's more so about, you know what? I'm here to look after these people who depend on me. And that's right from the very, very beginning. I'm sure we're gonna touch on like weaning and stuff in other episodes. But with me, I had to change my whole diet for Savannah. Like I had to change everything. We were on the gluten free. Like that bread is like it's not even bread, it's like cardboard. I don't know how people do it. You just hold it and it just crumbles.
Or the butter that don't spread, man. I'm like, come on.
You try to put it on the gluten-free bread and
you have to put the butter on the radiator for a bit just to make it spread. All them things, like.
But then at that in my head, all I kept thinking is I have to feed my child. And so you make all of these sacrifices, like, you know, like you've already mentioned, things that you never thought you would ever do. Because try it up now, thank God, she's not eating that gluten-free thing again because, sorry, it's just not make it, sorry. But, you know, as I said, we do it because we have to.
I think we didn't realise that the quantity, like the vast quantity of stuff that you need, like even with just 2. Like, I don't understand sometimes. Sometimes I'm so confused what must be happening when I'm not in the house, because I'm like, but I've just been shopping. And I've just bought milk for the week. But there's no more. But what's happened to it? Did someone spill it? Like, I don't understand. And it's like, it's all the other things. So it's like,
It's Jonathan.
It's Jonathan, man.
In the comment.
It's Jonathan.
Listen, trust me.
Jonathan's
Listen,
way
my mum and dad,
Jonathan is
my mum
craving
and dad will
down.
tell you that I used to get the jug and pour a pint of milk and have my cereal. Now, there's none of that. No. No. Trust me. I'm looking and I'm like, 200 mil. That's about enough all the time. I'm looking at the oat milk and I'm thinking, Caleb and Isaac, and these man eat, you know, like Isaac, he would have eaten a Weetabix and a half. If he could, I'd know he would eat 2.
Yeah.
Because he'd eat his 1.5, then come to me when I'm eating my muesli,
And then
my Alpen muesli,
it comes to me for my
and looking at me like,
Weetabix minis.
open up his mouth, come into my plate, like.
And then he'll go in the grapes.
Yeah, so he's eating all the time, and then Caleb eats. So it's like everything. I've got to just make sure I'm not having too much, because then no one eats.
But it's mad how, like, all the stuff that you need to buy for them that you don't think about before. I didn't realise how many packets of wipes you'd need to buy for a week.
Listen, wipes. Absolute myth. Absolute myth.
I'm sure everyone here did it, but I got gassed in the beginning and we were strictly water wipes.
Yeah.
Same.
Listen,
Some rich people, man.
Sheree, I've got a confession. No, because confession is good for the soul, right? And like, you are my sister and I love you to the end. Okay, but let me tell you, when Sheree was carrying on with her water wipes, I came home and I said to Marcus, she ain't getting no water wipes from me. Be straight. Water wipes, you know. You go in the shop and walk past it on the shelves in the shop, and I'll be going, this is what Sheree wants me to spend money on, you know, water wipes. I'm not buying no water wipes.
Get a cloth and put water on it, man. Jeez.
What?
You live and you learn, don't you? You live and you learn.
I had to watch you grow, honey. That was all.
We all went through it.
We did.
Right, Sheree, do you want to lead on to the next topic?
So, obviously in the beginning, if you didn't start with us, we want to take an opportunity to just cover a very sensitive topic about like the journey to being parents. It's not always the way you might have it in your mind. And it, you know, it is sensitive, it is personal to those that are going to contribute. But yeah, we just wanted, one of the things that I prayed for in the beginning, and I feel like God's thrown me into this. I did one of my prayers, I do remember it. I said, you know, if you bless me with this child, I think I was pregnant at the time. And I said, and if everything works out, I'll use it as a testimony. So then to be thrown in a situation where this is the topic, I'm kind of like, okay, I hear you. Because he's 5 now, and I've never really spoken about it to anyone outside of my circle. So, yeah, I just thought it was really important because at the time we didn't really have anyone to talk to as such that we felt understood. We had people that were sympathetic to our situation.
Your mum, my mum.
Yeah, like other than our parents, no one really talks about loss. No one really talks about kind of that desire to have a child and it not happening in your own time. So for us, when we decided, okay, yeah, now's the time that we want to have our family, it took us 5 years. So we didn't actually know, we still don't know. I think it was just one of those things where it wasn't God's time. I went through a series of investigations and just surgery after surgery after surgery to try and find out like why we weren't having our child. And I just remember breaking down to Jonathan and just saying, like, I just can't do this. I just can't keep having a procedure, going under anaesthetic, having all of these things done, really just feeling invasive. Everything just felt so invasive, so like it was awful. And it was like I'd go through one procedure and wait 6 weeks to hear what was happening. Then I'd have to have another one because it was inconclusive. So I'd have something else, which was inconclusive 6 weeks later, then something else. And I just remember saying to Jonathan, like, I just don't think I can do it. And I think at that point, like, obviously we had our parents. I was very open with Jonathan's mum and my mum about it, and I spoke to them and kind of kept them in the loop. Yeah, just as someone to talk to, because no one really talks to their friends. Like, obviously, like, I was always on the phone to Dion, but that's the type of, I'm very fortunate to have that person. So I'd always be like crying my heart out to Jonathan, and I did feel sorry for him, like, on the other side of it, because there's not a lot he could do to console me other than just be there to listen. Dion used to get phone calls at all sorts of times when she was trying to get to work or whatever, but it's, you know, having those people was imperative to our journey. Now we have 2 beautiful boys. So our first, we didn't even speak about what we were happy sharing, but I'm sure, you know, this many years on, we're okay. So our first child was an IVF baby, and so many people told us not to do it. I can't even tell you, like, it was probably just our parents that said it was a good idea. People were like, oh, it's going to tear you apart, the hormones are going to make, like, drive a wedge between you.
You're going to be really angry all the time.
Oh, it's just going to do so much damage to your body and it might not work.
So many horror stories of, like, people breaking up and yeah.
And obviously the situation we were in is that because you know, it's just the 2 of us and we didn't have any children, we were allowed 1 free cycle on the NHS, and then everyone was like, why would you put yourself through that if it's not even guaranteed, because what are you going to do after? But I think when you're in the midst of it, you do what you can to get through, and all the way through we're just constantly being told we can't really figure out why. So we just thought, well, why not? You know, we've been through all of these years of different situations, different investigations, so, like, why not this? So we tried it, and luckily for us, you know, we through a lot of prayer and a lot of self-sacrifice, and I remember praying and saying,
faith, man.
Yeah, like, I literally just prayed and said, I surrender everything to you that I've been, perhaps, you know, like, sometimes you've got like a little hold on something that you can't let go of, and I just literally surrendered everything, and I said, God, you know the desire of our hearts. And we had that cycle, and it was successful for us, to the point where I remember the doctor actually saying to us, I don't even understand why you're here. And I thought, here we go again with this, I don't understand. And she's like, I don't even understand why you're here. And, like, we ended up having like 13 viable embryos, and she was just like, none of your stats, none of your results, nothing makes sense. And I think that's when I realised it's because it wasn't in God's time. It just wasn't. I think I can speak for myself. I definitely had a lot of growing to do, and I'm telling you that definitely did it. But in our whole journey of having these 2 beautiful boys, we've had 6 pregnancies. Obviously, do the math. That's 4 losses. One of which was a twin ectopic, which went undetected for nearly 12 weeks. So I was very unwell. So we kind of had 1 loss, then had Caleb, then had 4 losses, and then Isaac. 2 losses.
3
losses, yeah. So 3 losses between, then had Isaac. So it's been an emotional journey. It's been heavy. And that's why when people say to me, are you going to try for the girl? Like, I can't roll my eyes far back enough, because they just don't know. Like, you see what everyone sees of us, what we want them to see. They see us smiling and happy, and we have our boys now. But I mean, even down to the one just before Isaac came, just after the ectopic. So I had the ectopic one, and then I had another one, and that loss started on my birthday of 2018, which was my friend's wedding day.
Yeah.
And that was rough because there was nothing that was going to stop me from going to her wedding. And I remember being at her wedding, and you're all dressed up and highlighters popping, and you're really trying, but just inside you're just broken. And then the physical side of it as well. And I just sat there at every opportunity and was just wailing, and then trying to like pat my face and put on a brave face, and like towards the pain. It was just it was silly to go looking back, but at the time there was nothing that was going to stop me from being there for her. And towards the end of her day, I said to her, I've just got to go home. And she wanted to do this whole presentation because it was my birthday. And I was like, no, you can't do that. I need to go. And I actually told her, because she overheard me and Jonathan speaking. And when I told her, she was like, I just can't believe you came. But I think I've learned, or I'm sure I can say we've learned over those years, that talking about the situation that you're going through makes it more manageable, because you don't feel like you're so alone, and you don't feel like, oh, nobody understands, or you've got to keep up a pretense, or if you're having a bad day, or if something's just not working out, or if you're really unwell, or if you just can't hold a normal conversation with someone because you feel that broken, the fact that the people around you know about it makes it so much easier, I would say. Do you have anything to add?
I think, like, as well, just religion, God, helps us get through it majorly. I think during the beginning part, we started reading Genesis. I don't even know why. We started reading Genesis, and through, obviously, going through Abraham and Sarah's ordeal. Hence, we have an Isaac and Caleb Isaac. Yeah, we got the name Isaac in both of the boys' names. It was basically like we learned a lot about faith during that time, and understanding Abraham's story, and how Abraham had to learn and understand what faith was as well. And he went through his downfalls, and he had his problems, and in the end, God said, "Look, listen, I'm here, and this is what This is what I said I'm going to give you." So we almost like, I feel like we called on that promise and said, "Lord, like, you see, this is what you want. This is what you made mankind for. Like, give us our boy." And we just knew it was going to be a boy, and we believed that wholeheartedly.
We prayed for him by name as well.
Yeah. We prayed. Yes, we prayed for Caleb by name. We said, "Lord, give us Caleb," and that's exactly what he did. Hence his Caleb Isaac.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
Good.
To kind of wrap it up as well, one of the this whole never really finding out, and obviously going through all those losses, and the ectopic, meaning I had to have like emergency surgery and all of that sort of stuff. When Isaac came as a surprise, I couldn't really understand. I was like, what? No. And I remember saying to Dee and like my friends at the time, I was like, no. Like, and then I know it sounds bad, and I do feel guilty for feeling it at the time, but I just really thought that he wasn't going to make it. Like in the earlier stages, I just thought it's just going to be loss number 5.
Yeah.
I really did feel like that. So whilst, earlier we were talking about that kind of fear of like making purchases and that sort of thing, especially with Isaac, I don't think he could have got any more last minute than what we were doing. I think.
But that's understandable.
My mum stepped in and she was like, "There comes a point, Bab, where you're gonna have to do something." And I says, "I know, Mum," and like she understood because obviously she's been through it. But yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Like seriously, because you really don't understand just how much people you've just blessed by just sharing your testimony. And it's just, as you said, when you talk about things and I guess this is again where Can We Just Talk stemmed from, because there's so much things that we bottle up inside. There's so much things that we don't want to share because we're so worried about, people knowing our business. And like you said, people see what we show them. So we put on a brave face and we keep it moving, and that's what we do. But we're only human. And so like we really appreciate you and Jonathan just sharing that, because I can guarantee you, like I've even seen it in the comments already, that people are so touched by what you've shared. So thank you so much, and God bless you, and God bless your children, and continue to be fruitful, and may your home always be full.
And multiply.
Put them blessings down, yeah. All them blessings for a couple of years.
No, just together.
Adding on to what Dion said there, the reality of life is, you see things on TV, or you see people just popping babies out left, right, and center, and it's kind of, oh well, you're young and it's just gonna happen. But the reality is, it doesn't always happen so easily, and it doesn't always happen so quickly. So it's just letting people know that even the young people go through the situations.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thanks for that, guys. I know it's still a bit of a solemn time, but we want to give Rebecca and Leon a bit of time just to share with us as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we found out that we were expecting in 2017, in January. So at this point, we already had 2 children. As I mentioned, one of them was gifted to us. One of them was our biological child. So with our biological daughter, we had no issues. I had a bit of hyperemesis, so like extreme sickness in pregnancy with her. Went to hospital, had some IV fluids, and I was pretty much okay after that. I went home, just had to take it easy for a bit, but I was okay, still a bit sick, but nothing too major. So then when we found out we were expecting 2017, it was a really different pregnancy. I was sick pretty much from the beginning. Couldn't tell you when exactly it started, but the hyperemesis came back again fairly quickly. So I was in and out of hospital for IV fluids. A midwife that we know worked there. And the first time I went, we hadn't really told anyone we were expecting. And I got wheeled in to triage, and she was there. And I was like, so I guess I'm pregnant. But I was really unwell, and whenever we'd go there, we'd see her and she'd be like, oh, back again. So it was like really laborious going in all the time. I remember doing the school run and coming out of school and like being sick in a bin before I'd even got to my car. So because I was so ill, quite a few of the mums knew that I was expecting. And the last school run I did, I was 15 weeks pregnant. And I just remember, because I spoke to one of the mums there, and she was like, you just look awful. After that point, the hyperemesis got so bad that I couldn't get out of bed. I was being sick just constantly. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything. At one point I was having ice lollies because I could kind of lick them just to get a bit of like fluid and sugar. But that didn't last very long. I have to give a shout out to Alex and our friend Leonie, because Leon was trying to work at the time in like Leicester. So he was struggling to do the school run and get to work on time, and he was being threatened with like the loss of his job because he was late, and then he was having to finish early to pick the kids up because I was bedbound. And Alex and Leonie were like coming to the house. They washed Naraya's hair for me, like they were taking the kids to school, picking them up, and like just like being amazing. But yeah, the sickness got really, really bad. And obviously when you're being sick but you're not consuming anything, it's not really much to be sick. But I'd be sick like 13, 14 times in a day, and I had nothing to eat. So I was really unwell. We went to hospital again. They ask you to do a urine sample to measure the ketones in your urine, so it's the protein in your urine, and that shows essentially it's like your body going into ketosis, so it's eating its own fat supply, which you don't want to do when you're pregnant. And I was so unwell at that point that I couldn't give them the sample. I just couldn't stand up in the toilet. And a doctor came by and weighed me and realised that at that point I'd lost about 3 stone just from being unwell. I was admitted to hospital and I spent about 4 or 5 days there on fluids, anti-sickness medication. I can't swallow tablets, so I had to have everything through like injections and IV. Came home on the Thursday and I wasn't given the last dose of anti-sickness that I asked for, and I was sick in the cab on the way home, and the hyperemesis started again from that point. So that week was awful, but we had, the following Thursday, we had our 20-week scan to like look forward to. So my mum had come up at that point to help out, and the sickness was still really bad. And we decided that on the morning of the scan, we kind of spoke to each other and said, you know what, after this scan, we're going to triage again. Because where we had our scan was a separate hospital to where the maternity triage was. So we'd already decided after the scan, we're going straight to the hospital because this sickness is back, it's really bad. I also couldn't like swallow my own saliva, so I couldn't speak because I had to keep spitting. It was really disgusting. So we got into the scan, and I think one thing that we've been told a lot was sickness, that's a really good sign. You know, sick mum means healthy baby. And we got told that so many times. And then, yeah, we went into the scan. Even the sonographer was like, saw me walk in with a bag, and she was like, oh, you've been really sick. And that's normally a good sign. And I remember like lying on the couch, whatever you call it, and she put the, what's it called, gel on and all the rest of it. And I remember looking at the screen and thinking, something's not right. And I think it's so odd because we'd never been through anything like this before, but something just wasn't right. And I was a bit like panicky. And then she told us, I'm really sorry, but I can't find a heartbeat. Let me go and get somebody else to have a look, and we'll see if we can get a second opinion. And at that point, I didn't look at the screen anymore because I just thought, I know what you're going to say to me. Like, I can see that my baby is not moving. I couldn't track movements because I was so unwell that everything felt like I had a lot of stomach pains and kind of gripey feeling anyway. So I was mistaking that for movement. Even on the morning, I was like uncomfortable. My mum said to me, oh, are you okay? And I said, oh, I think it's just baby moving. So yeah, they called in the second person to have a look, and they just told us there's no heartbeat, and kind of asked us if we wanted them to call through to the hospital, which they did. So we drove straight there, called my mum, drove straight there, and the same midwife that we know was there, and again said, oh, same thing again. And I just remember like breaking down. Like when they first told us, I was like, I was wailing. And then we got to the hospital and she just hugged me. And I don't think I've ever needed a hug so much in my life. Like she just held me. And it's a really horrible experience, actually. I remember them walking us through, taking us to room 1. And you could see that it was like a fit for purpose room. This was the room where you went to when you weren't taking your baby home. I think I didn't have the same faith that like Cherie expressed, because I was so angry. I was so angry with God that in that room, I was texting Leon because I still couldn't speak, saying, why has God let me be so ill and then I don't even get the prize at the end? It was just such a horrible experience to go through, like 5 months of pregnancy, horrible pregnancy, to then not have a baby at the end is a really difficult process to go through. What happens then is that Leon was allowed to stay. My mum actually came, she was allowed to stay as well. So we went in on the Thursday because they needed to get my anti-sickness going, to get my sickness under control. They said that I could stay. A lot of people, they give them first dose of medication. You come back after a couple of days to start the labour process. But because I was so unwell, they just kept me there on a drip, kept me on anti-sickness, and Leon and my mum were there as well. And then you have your baby, and that's essentially what happens. Your labour is induced, and you go through that process then, and you have the options of kind of meeting your child or not meeting them. It's up to you as a parent. But it's a very difficult experience, and I think that we are always kind of told, like, don't tell anybody that you're pregnant until you get to at least 12 weeks, because what if something happens? And I think it's so negative, because the suggestion there is that if something does happen, that it's because of you, or you should be embarrassed to tell people that you've had a loss, and you shouldn't be. If you want to tell people when you find out, you just done a clear blue and it says 1 to 2 weeks, tell people if you have a loss. It's devastating, but it's also useful that you have people there that you can talk to. We were at 20 weeks, we were halfway. You don't expect at 20 weeks that you're going to have a loss either. You know, we couldn't have kept it secret all of that time. So does that make it like better or worse? You know, it's just useful to be open about it. Wherever you can. I know that I had that experience, but Leon's experience was probably different because he was on the other side of it.
But before Leon goes, if he does go, again, Rebecca, I think that you and Cherie are so brave. I honestly, I'm so proud of you both. Like, I just think, just for sharing and for explaining what you've gone through, is just so heartwarming. And just not only that, but it's almost like we will never, those who have never been through it, I haven't been through it, but like Cherie said, you know, you can always empathize with people, but you can never really relate until you've had the experience. And so, you know, the fact that you're sharing this, I just think it's awesome. Thank you so much. And again, God bless you too, and bless your household too, and just continue to just be super and strong like you are, because you both amazing. You really are. Leon, do you want to add to it from your point of view?
Yeah, just quickly then. I would say that it was a challenging time. I would always say that my experience probably won't come anywhere close to Becca's experience, because she had to do so much more. And when you're actually carrying a child, I think it's a complete different game altogether. Yeah, man, it was a challenging time. And I think that experiences like this make you appreciate the stories of the struggles that we've already spoken about, and you know, doing that shopping and maybe struggling financially at times, or buying those 4 pairs of jeans one time. It makes you appreciate those moments, because you know we're blessed with children, and that's it. Like, that's a blessing. That's it. Like, it's a blessing in itself, and it makes me appreciate what we have. And you know, it means that we're blessed to have children. You know, ourselves. Everyone has children here, so we need to give thanks and praise where we can, really, because boy, difficult situation, difficult experiences, but we still give praise to God, man. Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. Oh, I feel like I just lie down now and just be like, Lord. Yeah. But at the same time, as much as you have gone through these experiences, and this is not trying to brush it under the carpet, but we want to focus on the positives too. So you got some beautiful children. You know, they're so lovely. Like, even I remember the first time I met what's the little one? The
little ones.
No, my little friend, the one at Aberdarren.
Oh, Anna.
That's it. I didn't even need to know her name. I was like, come on, cutie, just come. She was like this, like, she's so lovely. And like even that experience alone, like such beautiful children that are just raised by amazing people. You like, they're a reflection of you. Caleb and Isaac, same thing. They're a reflection of the love and support that you kind of put into them, and the energy and everything. They're beautiful. I claim them as my own, as you know, I don't have any boys, I have girls, so those are my sons, so I take credit for them, thank you. But for real, like you both couples are awesome, and I just admire you. We admire you, so you know, fair play to you for the strength, for sharing, and for encouraging, definitely encouraging others on their journey, because people that are watching this may experience this in years to come, you know, and this is some now that you have shared this, you know, they can say that, you know what, I'm not alone, there are other people, and they can take on board the fact that, you know, have people around you who can support you, who can help you, the sisterhood, the brotherhood, have your village around you that can support. So yeah, absolutely, thank you so much for sharing. We're gonna just dig a little bit deeper. So like with your experience, just as parents, this is, so how do you cope with like the whole loss, not just in when you lose a child, but just loss in when you say, for example, you might have been trying for a while and the disappointment. So even before you get to that point of where a baby is formed, you know, how do you deal with that sort of situation? How do you deal with the loss? How do you deal with the struggle? What's your coping mechanisms for that?
For us, I think it was each other. Because if we didn't encourage each other, we didn't sit down and pray together, then we wouldn't be able to turn to anybody. So we had to, that loss and dealing with the loss had to start our home first, and just being understanding to each other. Obviously, like Leon saying, the loss for Cherie is going to be greater than it is for me, but I am still going to feel loss as well. But Cherie then has to accept for me that I'm going to have feelings or saddened feelings as well on top of her feeling. So it's quite difficult, but you have to deal with that at home first.
I think what I'd add to that as well is there is no rule book. Like, no one can tell you this is how you have to deal with it. But for us, like, I was a talker, so every time I felt like, you know, I just needed to talk about it. Whereas there were times where Jonathan didn't want to, and sometimes he wanted to just have his moment of quiet, which was difficult because I needed to talk to someone about it. And if I can't talk to him about it, then I'm stuck. So yeah, I used to just talk a lot about how I was feeling, my anger, my upset. And then I did have times where I felt like, yes, I understood he was suffering and feeling loss, but mine was greater. But I had to stop myself from feeling guilt, and stop myself from feeling like he was angry at me because he wasn't. And Isaac's just welcome up, you know. So yeah, like talking was really important for us. Like really, really important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think different people cope in really different ways. I know that Leon really threw himself into his faith. And as I said, I really struggled with that in the beginning. Like, I found it really hard to like be friends with God because I was just so angry, and I spent a lot of time being angry. Like, we delivered our son on the Sunday, and the following week, the Sabbath, Leon was like, okay, let's go to the afternoon program. And I was like, okay. And like, I kind of went, and I spent a lot of time just crying there, and we just coped so differently at the time. And like Cherie said, I felt guilty, like my body had not just betrayed like myself, it hadn't just betrayed our son, but he had betrayed Leon as well, and I was so annoyed that I couldn't like keep this child. And I had to try and navigate those feelings as well. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't have made the situation better. There's nothing I could have done. They even said the sickness was not even part of it. They were two completely unrelated incidents. And it was really hard, but I definitely think that speaking about it has been helpful. I think you need to have a good group of people that you can speak to as well, because I started to feel like I was exhausting people talking about it. And I remember saying to somebody, I'm sorry that I'm talking about this again. And they said to me, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm your friend, I'm here to listen, like, it's okay. And you need those people who will be there so that when you do feel like you're going on, which you can feel like that, they're just there to say, actually, do you know what? Go on, like, keep going on. Like, your child has died, go on about it. Like, that's normal and it's okay. So I think as long as you've got good support system, you're okay. And if you don't, some people don't have good support systems. If you don't, there are places that you can go to reach out to people. And I will always say, if anybody ever wants to talk, I'm here. I'm happy to talk to people about things like this. So if you're watching and you do think, oh, I know Rebecca, I'm here. I'm happy to kind of talk.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so let's face it. Okay, so I want to hear from Jonathan and Alex now, because I know that you guys are sitting there a little bit quiet. So I'm gonna make you talk now. So let's talk about our church culture. And I can't even just say it's our church. It's not just our church. It's church culture in general. It's community. It's the Black community. It's the school community. It's everybody. Like, it's work. It's everybody. Everyone puts this pressure on. Oh, you're having a baby. Oh, you're married now. When's your baby coming? And then the baby. Oh, when's number 2? Are you gonna go for number 2? and then you're like, oh, just give me a second. I just got number 1. Give us a moment.
Just got married.
And you know what I mean? Then you have number 2, and then it's, oh, well, you've got 2 girls. So when's the boy coming? Like, you're never gonna reach the standard. You never, just forget it. Like, just forget it. No matter what you get. Like, some people will see it as a positive and say they're encouraging you for excellence. This is great. You know?
Yeah, but they're encouraging me by giving me money to look after the next one. I was saying, yeah, have more. Are you paying for them?
So did you have that experience?
Definitely from when even the engagement ring went on, and you have some of your Caribbean bridges like, well, you have to start drinking this and drinking that and blending the okra and all these things. Let me enjoy my wedding and get married first and have like honeymoon the same. Well, you know, it's and I'm thinking, big man, relax. Let me just enjoy the time with my wife. And it does, even after we had Aria, you probably get a grace period of about 10 days. And then someone will be like, oh, she's so beautiful. You guys make lovely children. Like, when's the next one? And it's like, it's exhausting because, again, from a financial perspective, where are you, fam? Like, you weren't there with me in the trenches buying this and buying that. When you want to, you know, when we want to have like our time, those are the same people that, babysitting, well, you know, I got a lot on, you know. So it's like, but then there are people that are massively helpful and encouraging and like, listen, they'll be there at a drop of a hat if we did want or relied on them. But I think that, yeah, for me, it's people also don't know internally what you're going through. It's like we're very happy with Aria and we'll make a plan as to when we go for number 2, if we go for number 2. But what if you were in the midst of trying? What if you're going through a difficult time where it's not happening, but people are still like, so what's going on? I think individuals need to be a little bit more sensitive around the whole situation, because something could have happened, say with the first pregnancy, that means that you can't have any more children. Like, I have a close friend that's gone through that recently. So it's really kind of managing people's expectations that, you know, at the bottom line is, to be brutally honest, it's none of your business, rude boy. But
this is where I was going next. How do we do that? Come on, guys. Like, how do we do that without being feisty? Like,
because Alex gets it more than me. And I'm very much like, I can laugh it off and I got the banter, but I think Alexandra has a lot less tolerance for that behavior in it. So I'll let you speak on your experiences.
Come on, Alex. Tell
Come
us how
on,
you
man.
write them down, man.
I think I'm too nice.
And then we'll hear about it all the way home. Like, oh my gosh, why can't that person just,
Yeah.
like stay in their lane?
Do you know
She
what?
needs to talk, Jono.
Yeah, soundboard. She needs to bend, man.
I've had a really good experience of pregnancy and having Aria, but I get more angry for other people because I have friends that haven't had good experiences, and I'm always thinking, imagine if they ask that question to so and so, they have no idea what they've been through. So I get really angry, and then Jono gets the brunt of it. But I do find it really difficult how to address it and how to respond without being rude. Or should you be rude? Should you be blunt? I don't know. But the answer is
I'm going with what Jono said. Like, it's none of your business, bro.
None of your business.
it's hard in the moment though.
Yeah, no,
It
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
Like
It
one of my friends is just like, he's provided a scenario where it's like, well, nah. Someone will be like, are you going for number 2? Nah, we're not. And then that's the conversation is dead. Where do you go from there? The
Yeah.
person has to, you get me, sink
Unless
to the
it's
ground. So,
why not?
yeah,
That
some
can happen.
people don't know the boundaries. No one
boundaries?
to, when
yeah, it's true.
down.
It's true. It's true.
You know what, guys?
When Jesus says was my lock off. When Jesus says,
Yeah.
that's it. And then that's it. Conversation done.
When you go for yours, I'll go for mine.
Yeah, them
See,
ones.
Leon, before you say your point, like for me, mine was like, okay, a weight thing. So I used to be super skinny. I used to be like tiny, and then I had children, and then I had Savannah. So when I had Savannah, it had to, like, because of her eating habits and all my changes that I had to make, and so again, I had to put my weight on the back line so that I could fix her, well, not fix her, but support her through her journey. And so I was eating all kinds of rubbish just to try and get her to eat or to get what she needed. And then I used to get the thing of, oh, look, are you having a baby? You're looking round. Are you having? And then I'll be like, my mom used to say, you tell those people. Because my cousin Haley, she used to get mad. Like, she would get mad for me. So you see, like how Alex was saying, she used to get mad for me. How dare they? How dare they? Dear, you should have told me. And again, that is people that you need around you to support you. But at the time, I would sit there and cry, and I'd just be like, I can't believe they're saying this. They don't know what I'm going through. They don't know the struggles that we're having in the week. And so my mom said, you just tell those people, look, I'm a married woman. Okay. If I'm pregnant, it's my business. If I'm not, it's my business. So,
Go ahead, Leon.
Go ahead, Leon.
I'd say that so I think I've had like a the opposite experience to maybe a couple of you guys. The people were like, oh, you can't possibly have any more. And I'm like, what? My heart in my chest, like my heart, like you can't possibly have any more, like Leon. And I'm like, but hold on 1 second. Hold on. What if I wanted to have 2 more, Cozzy?
You need to call some scripture, fam.
Like family.
Like
family.
Jonathan said, we're not asking for anyone else to pay for them.
Nah,
so
what if I wanted to have 2 more, bro? Like, nah, you couldn't.
Hey, get this
Like,
down.
come on. And it's like, guys, just be quiet, man. Just be quiet in it. Keep it.
Yeah, we need to. I think our parents in life, our parents' generation has changed so much, in a positive way. But I think now that we are here in this generation, I think for the ones who are coming below us, we as a generation have to just try and fix this culture. We need to just come out of people's business. It's nothing to do with you. Like, if it's just come out. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't have nothing constructive to say, please, just please, you know what I mean? If it's something positive, then absolutely, rather than be saying you can't possibly have any more, say what I'm saying and come on, be fruitful, praise the Lord. We're glad that you're here. You know, don't make people feel any kind of way. Don't push them with the next question talking about, so when's the next one coming? What if there's no more to come? What, you ain't Jesus, so come on, like let's pray.
We were 4 years in, so that's sacrilege. 4 years into your marriage and no kids. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? Like, it was like, and he was constantly coming from everywhere, like kids, like what's going on?
I remember once actually, I hadn't been at church for a while because of one of the miscarriages. And the first thing, I plucked up the courage, come back to church. And I was downstairs and she shouted from across the way, "Oh, isn't it about time that you gave Caleb a sibling?"
Oh.
Listen, you know that anger that Alex is talking about came out. I'm not even sorry. And I says, loud, across the way, said way, I says, I just had a miscarriage last week. Because I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, trust me, lock off.
But that day, I couldn't, because it took a lot for me to go back to church. And I was like, how dare you? I thought, all right, you ain't asking me that again.
Yeah.
And I just
you're right.
And sometimes maybe that's just what people need, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, everybody, let's move on from asking people's business. Yeah.
Okay.
Amen.
Okay. So, Marcus, you need to stop moving the thing. I can't read it.
Sorry.
It's moving the thing. I'm trying to look and I can't see. Back to my questions. I did have questions.
Go ahead.
Can't see. I don't know what is to happen now. I don't know what's going on. Let me go back to where I was. Right. So.
You still can't see.
No.
Supporting young parents day.
Supporting young parents.
Yeah.
I can't even see that.
Got some glasses.
It's just late. Okay. It's been a hard day.
That's what it is.
You just jealous. Okay. So yeah, supporting young parents. So what can we do to do that? How can we do that? Because a lot of the time, young parents want to show that they are ready. They want to show that they can do it. They don't want to be like, oh, can you help me? Because XYZ. Because they want to say, I'm ready, I got this, I can do it. But really, we know that the struggle is real. And you know, like when you have baby showers and stuff, I always say, if I'm going to say something to you, believe me, I mean it. Like if I'm saying, I will help you, I will support you, I will help and support you. Because there are people out there who say a lot of things and it sounds good at the time. And they say, yeah, it's great. I'm there for you. I will help. And oh, yes, 100%. And then when you're struggling, they're the same ones who be like, have you seen Dion women? Look at the child. Look at his run up and like, rather than saying, D, can I help you? You know what I mean? So how can we practically support young people, young parents who may be struggling? What ways can we do that without kind of putting the pressure on? Because again, there are going to be people who want to support others but don't want to make them feel like they can't do their role, you know what I mean? So how can we share any ideas? Can we?
I think sometimes you just have to kind of just go in there. So the same way people are ready to ask you questions that they shouldn't do, I think sometimes you got to reverse that and have the attitude of just going to help them. Because I think they're not necessarily, some people are not necessarily going to help themselves because it's gonna feel like it's a pride thing to ask for the help. So I know I've been in situations where I will go and pick up the child that's running around and just talk with them or play with them, just to give the parent a breather. Do you know what I mean? We all need that little respite sometimes.
Oh, yes.
So rather than watching them struggle with the child or trying to pull them this way, that way, the child's running up the walls and all that sort of thing.
Going to church is the best one.
Yeah, church, you see it all. Just go and pick up the child and give the parent a breather, man.
I was that mom, okay, with my heels on and my baby bag and the other child walking ahead with their pool trolley with their snacks in. I was that mom.
So when I wasn't there.
And You? Oh no, you were too busy helping everyone else.
All right.
And
Elder duties. Elder duties, man.
I'm sure we've discussed this one. How much? But Marcus is married to church. I always say this.
Carry on.
Anyway, before we need some divine intervention. Yeah, so that was me. He would run into church to go and do what he's got to do, you know, and I appreciate what you do for Jesus.
Carry on.
But I would be that mom. So people would actually help me though, and I was quite happy to take the help. Whereas I have seen others struggling. No, I've got it. And I'm like, come let me. Can I take a bag for you? No, it's fine. I've got it. And you know, and
Everything
really
drops out the
foot's
bag.
twisting on the heel because they can't walk on it properly. Like everything, the things of snacks are falling out the bag, and you've dropped this. Like, you know, how do you help them when sometimes they don't want to be helped?
I think the help starts long before the babies even come. So, you know that person's pregnant and the downstairs are struggling. You know, you get them a little glass of water. You're helping them already before that baby's there. You're showing them that, you know, we'll give you that support. For me personally, I think if someone had told me the truth about children, that would have helped me a lot.
What's the truth?
So when you tell someone having a baby, everyone's gassed. It's like, oh, amazing, beautiful.
I know what you're gonna say.
So yeah, amazing. Oh, I can't wait to cuddle them. And they're gonna be this and that. It's gonna be a boy. No one actually tells you the hard truth. Yo, it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be really hard. And you know what? Anytime you need help, let me know. But I'm telling you from now, it's gonna be hard. No one ever told me the honest truth. No one said, listen, you're gonna struggle. There's gonna be nights when you're not gonna sleep and you're gonna be frustrated and you're gonna look at.
No one told me about that ring of fire. That's what no one told me.
All right, that's a different topic.
Just saying.
Well, you see, all these little things, no one ever really honestly and talks to you and tells you about those things. So I think the support starts beforehand, the honesty. So then, you know, when you are struggling and things are hard, that person that gave you that support at church or whatever not, you can turn to them and say, yo, you're right. I beg you, take little man for a little bit. Or can you help me with the bag? Can you go and warm up the bottle? Do you know what I mean? Little things like that. Just that honesty from the beginning, I think would have been bang on for me anyway.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation. People gloss over it too much. They're like, oh gosh, you're going to be really tired. You better get your sleep in now. They don't break it down for you.
Yeah.
Like, sleep deprivation is real. And there will be times where you feel like saying, I'm done. And you just walk away because you need to sleep. Like, I didn't realise this colic thing was
real.
Was real.
I thought it was fake.
Yeah.
I thought your baby just got run belly. Just give him some warm milk, innit?
No.
Mate, we had to shift in the living room because we didn't want him to wake up Isaac. So somebody had to stay awake, just rocking or this, or just trying to pacify for like 3-hour blocks throughout the day.
Yeah, bear quitting. I quit as a parent enough time.
I'm throwing in the towel, forget it, hanging up my jersey.
Caleb, I remember one time I held him and I thought, you're the cutest thing. And I went up to Shuri, I woke her up and I said, I'm finished, I'm done. And I dropped him off of the bed. And I was gone.
Went to sleep.
Done. Finished. Trust me.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, sleep deprivation is real. But don't be proud. That's what I would say. Don't be proud and don't try and do everything yourself to prove anything to anyone, because you don't need to. If someone's willing to help you, like, listen, I've learned
take the support.
Yeah. And don't try and do stush parenting. Like, if you need to wear your sliders so that you can carry things safely, wear your sliders. Do you know what I mean? Like, listen, I've wore sliders to church some days when Jonathan's been at work.
Yeah, that's kind of because Uncle Orlando wouldn't let you over.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's like, just be practical, accept help, and don't assume that you're in for an easy ride, because you'll get a rude awakening if it doesn't go that way. That's what I would say.
And if your child sleeps or your child has been sleeping from baby. Please do not rub that in the face of people who are not getting any sleep.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
You're right.
Nothing worse.
it's like, oh, my baby went to sleep at 6.
That's Jonathan. Look at
And
how he's
slept.
laughing.
I know, it's Jonathan.
He really looks
Trust
so
me.
You get
Oh,
me 3
six,
from
seven.
7 p.m.
Like, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? What's the problem? Why is our child not doing it? Like, sleep deprivation is a thing. I remember being at my mom's house and I just sat on my mom's bed and the room was pitch black, right? I don't even know where the baby was at that time. And I just sat there and I just sobbed my heart out. And then mom came up, she's like, Tim, what's the matter? I'm just so tired. I was exhausted. I was so tired. So please don't rub it in our faces. It's not.
No, 100%. I think to add to that fact of no sleep, I am a guy that I can survive off, Leon Matai, I can survive off 2 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep, light work. When Aria came, the reason that the harsh reality hit me was I remember waking up Alex, like, babe, she's crying, let me get, it was a pillow, fam. I was holding a pillow and I was like, babe. And I could hear the crying, you know. I was fast asleep. I'm in my head, I'm hearing crying. I'm holding my pillow, like, babe, you need to see the struggle. I was so embarrassed. I thought, nah, this can't run.
Having multiple times.
It's mad, like the things you catch yourself doing. Because I got so used to having someone in the trolley at shopping. I'm so used to having someone in the trolley and like pushing the trolley backwards and forwards, like while I'm looking, just to kind of soothe somebody, that I'd go shopping on my own and still be like rocking the trolley.
Yeah.
And I was like rocking the trolley backwards and forwards. I thought, oh, what am I doing? Like, people are thinking I'm crazy. Why am I doing this?
Oh,
But,
that's so cute.
Now I have to echo like what everyone's saying. Really, I think that in terms of helping like young families and stuff, practical stuff is really useful. Like when somebody just has a baby, don't go to the house hungry. Don't go at dinner time, because so many people came to our house and it was like just around the time that we wanted to start getting dinner ready, and then they'd be there and we think, oh, we can't cook for us and not cook for them, but we're not really in a position to cook for you and us, so now we have to wait, and it just got really, really stressful, like trying to navigate that. So if you can take somebody food, take them food. But also something I always say to people is that your children will bring you like the lowest lows that you'll ever experience. Like the worst times that you have will be because of something to do with them, not necessarily something that they've done, but something to do with them. Maybe it's something medical or something school related, or it could be anything, but they also bring you the highest highs. Like you'll never experience joy like it. Like they will always bring you the best times that you'll ever have as well. You think you've had good times and then they do something and you think, oh, my child, like we did that, and it's really, really lovely. So one of the things that I will always say to somebody, if you're new to the game, yes, it will be horrible at times and you'll cry and want to tear your hair out, but also some of the times are just going to be amazing, and you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, you wouldn't change it for the world.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you've taken it there, because we are like, we know that we knew it was going to be a longer session today. We knew that it would, because simply because of the content, and you know, it's important for us to kind of get these experiences across and shared in a way that is sensitive enough that it can reach others as well, to encourage others and to also show that we are in support of parents who have lost children. But just before we wrap up, I just want to put it out there to you as husbands that I just want you to just celebrate your wives right now. Like
Superwoman right here.
I think that it's the right time to let everybody know that your wife is a superwoman, because the experiences that they've been through, you know, everything that they have done, watching them give birth, like
yeah, it's traumatic still.
Full stop.
It's
It's a full stop thing. That's just a full stop. It's a shutdown thing there. Let's lock it off.
Enough said. Yeah, it's true.
did you find that, you know, you saw a new level of strength?
100%.
Mate,
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
listen, if I was a female, I would just say no.
No, I hear that though, Leon. Yeah,
No, that's just it. That's just it. It's a no. It's just a no. You know what I mean? And like for you guys to go through that, like oh man, look at Rebecca in a different way. Like true hero.
Yeah.
So I appreciate her, man. Definitely.
Yeah,
I remember when this lady was, not getting too graphic, but she was lying on the bed on all fours, and she was just out. She was just out of it and saying she's tired. And all I could think was, this amazing woman, look what she's going through. And at the same time, in my head, I was kind of coaching her, just saying, you have to do it. Like, you've gone past the point of no return. Now do what you're doing. Because I know, as you're saying,
not
Leon.
want to hear that right then.
No, I know that. But like you're saying, Leon, I don't even know if I could have done it, man. You know, I think I've got a decent pain threshold, but boy. So different level of strength and different level of respect and pride for what you did or what you have done.
Respect.
And what you do.
Yeah, definitely. I'd echo that. And I was absolutely dreading the whole process. And the reason that I was dreading it is because, and Alex won't mind me saying, she's got like a -500 pain threshold. So Alex will stub her toe and we go into A&E. Like, it's not a game. Like, she can't take pain. So for the whole 9 months, I'm stressing like, this is going to be one of the worst days of my life. I'm going to be helpless. I'm not going to be able to help her. She's going to be in so much pain. But granted to her, she was an absolute trooper, and it really excelled. I thought my heart couldn't be filled with more love for her. And then she gave birth to Aria, and just because I know how woeful she is with pain, and her going through the whole process, and she soldiered it really well. I thought, you know what, like I couldn't have been prouder, and I couldn't have loved her anymore. And it definitely transcended just the respect and the strength of character that I saw within my wife, which I've never seen before. So it transcends all levels for sure. Like all women that give birth, and women in general are superheroes, and that's something that I would never voluntarily do. Like if it's up to me, and it was like, yeah, you get pregnant, we live in that husband and wife life. You get me? Just
bro, I don't even think I'd try. You know that whole thing when they put the patches on men now, so they can allow it.
We leave that one behind.
Not interested.
Either comes out itself or not at all.
That's it.
Right. Nah, I'm not there for it at all. But yeah, same thing as you guys. Like I thought this will be easy because Cherie's a strong person, strong-willed, and it got to a point where she was absolutely shattered. She was tired, and she said, "I can't do it no more." And I had to, like, you know, you supportive husband when you say you can do it. And I held her hand. I remember no one told me not to give them the ring finger. Like why couldn't someone just inform me like quickly? Because she squeezed my finger to the point, yeah, where I could feel the tears welling up because of the pain. And I was just like, babe, you can do it. But you know, your voice is quivering. You know, you feel that pain. Oh, but yeah, she was, like I said, absolutely amazing. When little Caleb came out, he wasn't breathing when he came out, so he had to be resourced. But the fact that Cherie went through that, and it was tremendous. I sobbed my eyes out. Cherie didn't cry at all.
She did all her crying already. Yeah. With the pain.
I remember looking at her neck, and all the water from my eyes was just all down her neck, just like bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe it because it was as much as an ordeal. It was amazing because I was convinced. I was going in there with sunglasses because I did not want to see anything that was happening down there.
He was going to wear
I was wearing my motorbike helmet. Swear down, I was convinced. Motorbike helmet's coming. I don't want to see anything that is going on.
And he's going to wear his headphones because he didn't want to hear it.
I didn't want to hear it. Even now, as a paramedic, and I've delivered five babies, I still can't handle the sound of a woman giving birth. It is a struggle. It is absolutely difficult. Yeah. One born and all them things. I can't watch it. I can't hear it. I have to put it. I can't cope.
What a
But
man.
yeah, I have to say, Cherie absolutely soldiered it through both, because we had one natural, one cesarean, and then seeing Cherie like up on her feet 2-3 days later, with Isaac, with Caleb going to the fort. We won't talk about that. We'll leave that one there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing what she did.
Oh, so well done, ladies, and also well done to you men for like staying strong and supporting us through too. You know, we don't take you for granted. We appreciate you, and we know that it's not easy. But you are the ones who got allowed to be next to us to support us and encourage us, and you're the right people for the job. So we appreciate you. We definitely do.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just want to say thank you again to everybody who's joined us. Thank you once again to the Lawrences and to the Fullers for just being so open and honest again, and just sharing your experience and your journey. It has been such a blessing. There is another platform that we are involved in. It's Marcus's sister, Abigail. She has a network called Moments for Mums, which is really a safe space where we can talk, like it's specifically for mums, and it's a time to kind of escape all the motherhood madness that we get day to day, and just to come and just talk with other mums and share experiences like Cherie and like Rebecca have shared today. It is a safe space, so we also do have specialists that come on there to support as well, people who are medically trained, who are trained to support, counselors and all of people in the field to support the journey as well. So watch out for that. Keep your eyes peeled for that in case there's that is something that you would be interested in being a part of. It has been a blessing to many ladies, even to myself, going on there. We talk about a lot of things, but it's not live, it's not anything like this. It's very closed and very private, because we feel that some of the topics, although we do want to talk about it and want to share it and hear other people's experiences and share our own, not always for everybody to hear, because it is quite private things that we deal with. So please keep your eyes open for Moments for Mums. And also, again, just continue to keep following us at Can We Just Talk? Can We Just Talk 20 on Instagram? We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. And yeah, just continue to just support us and support the journey. The ministry has been such a blessing to so many people, including ourselves. So yeah, and again, thank you so much to the Reed family for being a part of it, and also
for having
the
us.
Fullers. And you've just been amazing, and we've loved having you. So yeah, that means that you can't be shy. You have to come again in the future when we talk about something else that yeah, but thank you guys. We love you and we thank you. All right, we're gonna bow our heads for prayer and then we'll say goodbye. Father God, we thank you for the moment that we've had to share with friends, just sharing our experiences. We thank you for the women in this group that have shown strength, that have shown resilience, Lord. And we thank you for even though it was a sad journey that they went on, we are grateful that they were able to experience it so that they can share what their testimony with others and encourage somebody else on their journey. We give you thanks for their families. We give you thanks for every marriage that is here, those of people that are watching as well, who are watching online. We pray that you will be with their families too, Lord, that you will strengthen them, strengthen their relationships, strengthen their bonds. And I pray that you will just continue to be in the midst of all of this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks for coming. See you.
See you later.
Later.